Greetings YouTube and welcome to my latest weapons build. Alright, so I have this aluminum bike sprocket, which is really a wonderful find. I think I paid like $5 for it. It was a great deal. And I want to turn this into a kind of a giant cestus, essentially. So what I want to do is I want to use this piece of steel rectangular tubing to be my handle. So you'll be holding it like this. And it's a slightly too big for my hand, but for a lot of folks it isn't, because my fingers are particularly short for my palm. I've been told I have what is called German hands. My father always called them that. But so that's going to go like that. And I'm going to cut it right about here. So it's going to go like that. And so you'll have that much showing. And I'm going to cut the tubing as close as I can get, because I'm going to be using this bridge is going to remain. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably cut it from here to there, take this section out, because I need space for my hand. I don't know how much yet. We're going to figure that out. Unfortunately, because this has got 6 holes, 6 relief cuts and 5 holes, the holes are going to end up being asymmetric, because there's nothing I can do about that. Lots of gears and tires for vehicles have 5, because 5 balances out the load better than an even number does. You have an odd number, so that's what you have here. Like if your car has like 5 bolts on it almost always on a tire. There's a reason for that. So I'm going to cut this with a saw I purchased specifically for cutting aluminum, because you really can't cut aluminum with an angle grinder. The abrasive wheels just turn too damn fast. It just melts the stuff. It's very unpleasant to work with. Not to mention it destroys your wheel very, very quickly. Even the diamond, I even think the diamond edge would be moving too fast. So I'm going to use a much slower saw with an actual saw tooth designed for cutting aluminum. So I'm going to use that on this to make that cut. I'll draw a line so I have something to go with. Cut it. I'm going to cut it just from there to just there. So nick that off, and then I'll know exactly how wide it needs to be. What it's going to look like, so I can then really have a better idea what this is going to look like when I'm finished. And I will be cutting it probably right there, and maybe matching the angle. I don't know, it may be close to straight. I'm not sure. I may put a slight curve in here and cut it proud, and then kind of grind that so it matches the arch or the radius a little bit, just for aesthetics. And then after that, I will have to cut a slot in the 2 ends. So I'm going to end up having to put a hole on the, that's going to be a pain to drill, but a hole here and a hole there, and then I'll cut to that to make the slot for this, because I want the center section to remain solid. So I don't want to just cut all the way across. So, and I want to leave this solid as well on the bottom. So it'll be comfortable on the hand. So it's only to send, and this will be nestling in against the inside of this to give it a nice clean look. So on the outside, all you're going to see is this silver. I should probably get the tape off here too at some point. But yeah. So my first task on this one is going to be to draw a line across there, and then to cut that off, at least initially, so that I can then figure out how much space do I have to remove, how much of this stuff do I have to remove, so I have space for my hand. At the minute, it's kind of tight in there, just barely fits. I may be able to get away with only taking out a little bit, because the more I can leave behind, the more mass it has, the more strength it has. So that's kind of important as well. I'd like to have as much internal structure as possible. Alrighty, so time to set this up, and we're going to give it a go and see how well I can get that to cut. Here we have the wheel. It's got the mark on it. I've now got it clamped down. I'm using 2 Irwin these quick clamps, and I have them passing through my tabletop, which I've done specifically. I've filed off I've rather ground off the stops on here so I could pass them through these holes to allow me to do this. And I'm using my Tack Life saw to make this cut. I've never cut a piece of aluminum this thick before, so we're about to find out how well that goes. So let's glove up. I've put on my outrigger grip here to increase my stability, and we're about to find out what happens. Too bad. Didn't quite get exactly where I wanted to, but you know, live and learn. This is going to be a plunge cut. It's going to be a lot less fun. That could have turned out a lot worse. And still, it's not a perfect cut. We still got some big ass burrs on here, but that'll all come off pretty easy with a belt sander. I'll save this for a future project because that could still end up being something. Who knows what. So we're gonna loosen you up. Loosen you up. Knock that off. Yeah. So, not bad, not bad. Do a little deburring, and probably going to even this up a little bit, because I want this point needs to come up just a little, so it's going to sit a little flatter than it currently is. But again, that's not a big deal. That'll come off pretty easy on my belt sander. So let's go take care of that, so I can get this thing to be relatively flat, and then we can start working on the grip. So now I have hogged out all the material I need to hog out. That is nice and roomy for my hand. I got no problem there, and it looks good because there actually was a relief cut here already, and I just followed that curve. I took a lot of the material out with my drill bit. Then I used this disc, which is actually designed for shaping wood, but screw it, it shapes aluminum too, I discovered. And then I cleaned up the whole process with a flap wheel, not this one, the one that's actually in my angle grinder at the minute. So that's as good as I needed to get. I don't need to get better than that. So now I'm going to cut this end off, and once I get that end, I will then figure out where I want to cut this end. And then I'm going to see if I can maybe put a slight radius on there to just kind of match this one here. And once I've achieved that, then I need to figure out where I want to start, where I need to drill that hole. And once the hole is drilled, then I can begin the cutting out of that notch, because it needs a notch on either end. But once I do figure out where that hole goes, I will also know where this hole goes. And this hole is going to be done here first. I will do the hole here in this channel first, then I will make it match on that. It doesn't have to, because making this match this is much easier than trying to make that match this. So do the thing that's on the outside first, and then do the thing that fits on the inside. So first thing I need to do is whack off that and then I can figure out how long I want it to be on this side. The piece is now shaped. I have both of the holes for the cross, which I'll eventually be going here. I've drilled these two holes, and I actually used this rig just like it is here, but in my drill press, obviously. And this is hole is just slightly short of what I need it to be as far as width is concerned, but I'll be able to get in there and just widen that out quite easily with my angle grinder. So now I'm going to come in here and cut right up to that hole. That's my goal. This is going to be very nerve-wracking. I will not be filming it. I really need to be concentrating on this. And if I screw up, I don't think you want to hear what I have to say. Alright, so now to cut those last 4 cuts, and then this particular piece will be ready for installation, and then I'll just have to put marks onto the sprocket so I can drill the cross holes for my bolts. And there we have the final piece. And it came out really nicely. When I actually drilled these holes, I just put this in here. It was a nice, snug fit, everything I could have wanted. So I just clamped it in the drill press, drilled right through the holes, used this as the fixture. I didn't have to make any measurements whatsoever. And that is the best, absolutely most accurate way to make something. If I can actually drill through the thing into the other thing, I know they're going to fit. And they fit beautifully. I made one screw up. I should have cut that side, and I didn't. But, you know, if I didn't screw up, it wouldn't be me. But yeah, this thing is just super light and fast. It is just, it feels really good. I will refrain from punching the beam over there. My wife has requested I not do that. Yeah. So I'm really happy with this. I really am. I haven't decided if I want to put, do I want to increase the points on those things? That's a lot of work. So right at this moment, I don't want to increase the points at those things. We're going to leave them just like they are. But I'm really thrilled with this. It came out just super simple design. It was a nice, clean build. I did this in, I don't know, I can't see, I came down here a little after 8. It's like 11 now. So with filming, probably 2 hours. Without filming, I would have had it done probably an hour and a half. Whenever I film, it just takes longer because I got to figure out how I want to do it and break it up and make sure I remember to do things. And yeah, it always makes things longer. But right now, I'm very happy. This came out just the way I wanted. It looks really damn cool. It actually looks, you know, kind of like, you know, I know what I'm doing, which is a rare and unusual thing. Particularly when I make screw-ups like that in my pieces. I did end up putting a slight radius on this. I don't even know if you can tell, but there is a slight radius in there. It looked better than square. I think it blends in a little bit better. So yeah, I think I'm going to call this the Sprocket Fist. Yeah, the Sprocket Fist. I kind of like that name. So, happy with this, and I actually have an idea for a companion piece, so I may work on that next. I'm not sure. Not this week, because I would normally have time on the morning of the first day of the week, but this week I get to go have a cavity filled. Yay! And in case any of you would like to know, today is actually Labor Day 2022 when I filmed this. I have no idea when it's going up, but happy Labor Day. Yesterday was my birthday, and I'm real happy about this long weekend. Can't tell you how much I enjoy having more than 2 days off. Alrighty, so this has been my latest build. Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. If you don't follow me on Instagram and DeviantArt, you should. DeviantArt is where I have the permanent stills for my builds, and Instagram is where I post bargain finds, salvage finds, sneak previews, and of course cute cat pictures. So I hope you enjoyed yourself today, and I hope you'll come back for the next one.